Before I start the video, I want to address Damar Hamlin. I'm currently sending my thoughts and prayers out towards him and his family during this time. Now, as I'm filming this, he has shown significant amounts of improvement in the hospital, which is amazing to see. Now, if you also want to show support towards Damar Hamlin, I'll be leaving the link to his foundation in the description below, the Chasing M's Foundation Community Toy Drive. Thank you. So what is up, guys? Brandon Suter back, and today I am here with NFL Week AJ Green, Randall Cobb, Peyton Manning, and Justin Jefferson. It is Week 18 predictions. If you're looking to watch a certain matchup, timestamps are in the description box below. So click on that match you want to see. Anyways, final week of predictions. I was 11-4 last week. So hopefully this can be the week I go 16-0, but we got 16 matches to get to. Everything's on the line. So without further ado, let's get this video. Now, before I get to the first prediction, everyone is going to be playing someone in their division this week. So there's going to be no classic blank divisional rivalry because, once again, everyone's playing someone in their division. So we're starting off with our first Saturday matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Las Vegas Raiders. So starting off with the Chiefs, you beat the Broncos 27-24. Patrick Mahomes, strong game, threw for 328 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Lead rusher, Isaiah Pacheco with 31 yards and a touchdown. Lead receiver was actually Kadarius Toney, 4 receptions, 71 yards, followed by Jerick McKinnon, 5 receptions, 52 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then Travis Kelce, 7 receptions, 43 yards. That was pretty much it. And the defense, there was a fair amount of bending towards the Denver Broncos, but they showed life on their offense. Like, the Broncos, they've only shown life in their offense when they play the Chiefs. So, a bit of a concern for you guys, but nonetheless, still play the victory. And then the Raiders, I'm shocked you kept it close and sent the game to overtime. You lost 37-34 to the San Francisco 49ers. Jared Stidham was okay. He was pretty good, actually. 365 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 2 crucial picks. One of them came in overtime, which set up the Niners for their win. Lead rusher Josh Jacobs with a nice 69 yards and a touchdown. Lead receiver Devontae Adams, 7 receptions, 153 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Followed by Darren Waller, 3 receptions, 72 yards and a touchdown. And then Foster Moreau, 3 receptions, 55 yards. That was pretty much it. And the defense, just so much bending and breaking towards the San Francisco 49ers. But not much shame because they're an extremely strong team. Chiefs are 8.5-point favorites to win this one. I'm going to say they win, but don't cover the spread. And now you have our very next match between the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Whoever wins this game is going to win the AFC South. Bit of a weak division, but still, nonetheless, would be very impressive, especially for the Jaguars. Starting off, the Titans lost 27-13 to the Dallas Cowboys. So Joshua Dobbs made the start, and he moved the ball. He was okay. 232 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. You didn't have Derrick Henry. Lead rusher was Hassan Haskins with 40 yards. But you are going to get back Derrick Henry for this match, which is critical in a winner-take-all game. Lead receiver, Treylon Burks, 4 receptions, 66 yards, followed by Robert Woods, 5 receptions, 39 yards, and a touchdown. And then Racey McMath, 1 reception, 39 yards. That was pretty much it. The defense, I mean, they did all right against the Cowboys. There was a bit of bending, and the Cowboys were playing down the competition, but just couldn't hold them off for too long. And then the Jaguars, a strong 31-3 victory over the Texans, but come on, it's the Texans. I would expect you to win that. Trevor Lawrence, he threw for 152 yards, no touchdowns and a pick, and they had a big enough lead. So C.J. Beathard came to the game. He threw for 29 yards and a pick. Lead rusher was Travis Etienne with 108 yards and a touchdown. You had a total of 169 ground yards and 3 touchdowns in the game, which was very solid. Lead receiver, Marvin Jones Jr., 6 receptions, 61 yards, followed by Travis Etienne, 3 receptions, 32 yards, and then Zay Jones, 3 receptions, 24 yards. That was pretty much it. Defense locked down the Texans, but once again, I would expect that. It's the Texans. Jaguars are 6.5-point favorites to win this one. I'm saying if they win, cover the spread, and win the AFC South. And now you have our very first Sunday 1 o'clock matchup. Usually in the final week of the regular season, the unimportant matches go to 1 o'clock. So that's what we're starting off with between the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts. Starting off with the Texans, tough 31-3 loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Davis Mills, not his best, threw for 202 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Lead rusher was also Davis Mills with 33 yards. So, yeah, not much else I can really say there. Lead receiver, Brandon Cooks, 4 receptions, 39 yards, followed by Jordan Akins, 2 receptions, 38 yards, and then O.J. Howard, 1 reception, 26 yards. That was pretty much it. And the defense, it just broke against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Despite you getting 2 picks, it's kind of what I expected because the Jaguars have been extremely hot recently. And then the Colts, a pathetic 38-10 loss to the New York Giants. Nick Foles was horrific, threw for 81 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick, went out with injury. So in came in Sam Ehlinger, who played well, threw for 60 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Lead rusher was Zach Moss with 74 yards. Lead receiver, Paris Campbell, 3 receptions, 52 yards, followed by Michael Pittman Jr., 6 receptions, 41 yards, and a touchdown. And then Jelani Woods, 3 receptions, 19 yards. That was pretty much it. And, the defense just broke against Daniel Jones. Honestly, you were one of the teams that pissed me off so much this season. I had high hopes. I had you winning the AFC South, but you completely let me down. This whole rent a old quarterback trend cannot happen anymore. This is what you get for ruining Andrew Luck's career. Anyways, Colts are 3-point favorites to win this one. But you know what? I'm going to say that the Texans pull off the upset in Week 18. And now you have our very next matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. Starting out with the Vikings, a pathetic 41-17 loss to the Green Bay Packers. You may be looking a little bit fraudulent going into the playoffs, especially with a loss like that. Kirk Cousins, horrific, 205 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 picks. So Nick Mullins came in. He was a perfect 4-for-4 for 57 yards and a touchdown, but it was garbage time. But still, nonetheless, solid performance. Lead rusher was Alex Mattinson with 38 yards, and really couldn't get anything going on with the ground game. Lead receiver, Jalen Naylor with 3 receptions, 89 yards and a touchdown, followed by KJ Osborne, 7 receptions, 59 yards and a touchdown, and then TJ Hawkinson, 7 receptions, 59 yards. And Justin Jefferson only had 1 catch for 15 yards, was just locked down. That was pretty much it, and the defense just broke against the Green Bay Packers. Not much else I can say there. And then the Bears, tough 41-10 loss to the Detroit Lions. Justin Fields really couldn't get anything going with the pass game. Was 7 for 21 for 75 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Once again, get him a good wide receiver 1. Get him some protection. I think he can flourish as a passer. Lead rusher, once again, was Justin Fields with 132 yards. It was a strong rush game with 200 ground yards on the day. Lead receiver, Cole Kmet, 2 receptions, 27 yards and a touchdown. Followed by Equanimeous St. Brown, 2 receptions, 20 yards. N'Keal Harry, 1 reception, 16 yards. And then Dave Montgomery, 2 receptions, 12 yards. That was pretty much it, and the defense just broke, gave up 265 ground yards and 255 air yards. So, yeah, your defense is a big concern. Justin Fields actually got shut down for this game, so in comes in Nathan Peterman. I'm putting the over-under for interceptions by him at 2.5. I'm going to go under, say he throws 2 picks. Vikings, 8-point favorites to win this one. I'm going to say they win and cover the spread. And now you have our very next match between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. Starting off with the Ravens. You lost to the Steelers 16-13, and you blew another fourth quarter lead. It doesn't even shock me that you did that. It's become so standard for you guys to have a strong lead in the fourth quarter and choke. Good luck with that in the playoffs. Anyways, Tyler Huntley, not his best, threw for 130 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. I'm telling y'all, you got to be extending Lamar in the offseason. You lose him, it's over. It's over. Anyways, lead rusher was J.K. Dobbins with 93 yards. Lead receiver, Mark Andrews, 9 receptions, 100 yards, followed by Isaiah Likely, 3 receptions, 12 yards and a touchdown. And then Deshaun Jackson, 1 reception, 9 yards. That was pretty much it. The defense was strong in the first 3 quarters, but bent and broke in the final quarter. And then the Bengals, your game against the Bills was canceled after what happened to Damar Hamlin. So the last time you played, you beat the Patriots 22-18. Joe Burrow was solid, threw for 375 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Joe Mixon led rushing with 65 yards. Lead receiver was T. Higgins, 8 receptions, 128 yards, and a touchdown. Followed by Jamar Chase, 8 receptions, 79 yards. And then Trenton Irwin, 3 receptions, 45 yards, and a touchdown. That was pretty much it. Defense, strong first half, but broke in the second half, but was just able to hang on for the victory. Anyways, the Bengals are currently 10-point favorites to win this one. And there really is still no update if Lamar's going to be back. So give me the Bengals that they win and cover the spread. And now you have our very next match between the Carolina Panthers and my boys in the New Orleans Saints. Starting off with the Panthers, it's been quite the year for you guys, but once again, didn't expect much out of you because Matt Rule was a dumpster fire start. So anyways, you lost 30-24 to the Buccaneers last time. Sam Darnold played pretty well, threw for 341 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Lead rusher was Dante Foreman. Unfortunately, he can only muster up 35 yards. But you guys played it right. If you want to attack the Buccaneers, do it in the air, not the ground. That's what you did. As lead receiver, DJ Moore, 6 receptions, 117 yards and a touchdown. Followed by Shi Smith, 4 receptions, 70 yards and a touchdown. And then Shuba Hubbard, 3 receptions, 53 yards. That was pretty much it. And the defense, they were pretty solid in the first 3 quarters, but the fourth quarter was atrocious on your defense. And then the Saints, big upset, 20-10 over the Philadelphia Eagles. Honestly, the season, it's been tough. We've been riddled with injuries, but ultimately the lowest point is when we blew it against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Starting off, Andy Dalton, solid game, threw for 205 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. And then Taysom Hill, he threw for 24 yards. It's pretty solid. Lead rusher was Alvin Kamara with 73 yards, followed by Taysom Hill with 46 yards and a touchdown. Lead receiver, who else but Rashid Shaheed, 6 receptions, 79 yards, followed by Juwan Johnson, 5 receptions, 62 yards, and then Chris Olave, 4 receptions, 42 yards. That was pretty much it, and the defense just did a great job against the Philadelphia Eagles. Sure, it was Gardner Minshew at QB, but once again, it was a big upset, and it was great having Marshawn Lattimore back as he got a crucial pick six in the fourth quarter. Currently, Saints are 3.5-point favorites to win this one, so you know what? Who Dat Nation going to pull it on top, win and cover the spread. I'm taking it down, Veer, because I want bragging rights over you this season. And now you have our very next matchup between the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. Starting off, the Patriots pulled out a 23-21 victory over the Miami Dolphins. You still have a shot to make the playoffs. Anyway, starting off, Mac Jones, solid game, threw for 204 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Lead rusher was Ramondre Stevenson. He could only muster up 42 rush yards. Lead receiver was Tyquan Thornton with 3 receptions, 60 yards, and a touchdown, followed by Hunter Henry, 5 receptions, 52 yards, and then Jacoby Myers, 6 receptions, 49 yards, and a touchdown. That was pretty much it. And the defense, there was a little bit of breaking, but once Skylar Thompson came in at QB, all hope was lost for the Miami Dolphins, and you pulled out the victory. And then the Bills, your game was canceled last week because of what happened with Damar Hamlin. So last time you played, you won 35-13 over the Chicago Bears. Josh Allen, he only threw for 172 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Once again, with the frigid temperatures, they stuck to a ground game, which was successful. Singletary rushed for 106 yards and a touchdown, followed by James Cook with 99 yards and a touchdown, and then Allen with 41 yards and a touchdown. Had a total of 254 ground yards in the game, which was amazing to see. Lead receiver, Gabe Davis, 3 receptions, 45 yards and a touchdown, followed by Dawson Knox, 3 receptions, 38 yards and a touchdown, and then Stephon Diggs, 2 receptions, 26 yards. That was pretty much it. The defense was able to keep down the Chicago Bears. So, yeah, good victory all around. Bills are currently 7-point favorites to win this one. And with how Josh Allen has been able to handle the Patriots since Brady left, Bills win and cover the spread. And now you have our very next matchup between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons. Starting off with the Buccaneers, it's pathetic that you won the NFC South. Like, the whole division's been a train wreck this year, but you were just less worse than everyone else. Starting off, Tom Brady, a strong game, threw for 432 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and a 30-24 victory over the Carolina Panthers. Lead rusher was Leonard Fournette with 28 yards. Lead receiver Mike Evans broke out, won a ton of people fantasy football championships with 10 receptions, 207 yards, and 3 touchdowns, followed by Chris Godwin, 9 receptions, 120 yards, and then Russell Gage, 3 receptions, 33 yards. That was pretty much it. Defense had a lot of bending with the Carolina Panthers in the first 3 quarters, but we're able to limit them in the fourth quarter. And then the Falcons pulled out a 20-19 victory over the Cardinals. Not much of a shock, though, because the Cardinals just suck. Desmond Ridder was solid, 169 yards. Nice. No touchdowns, no picks. Lead rusher was Tyler Aguirre with 83 yards and a touchdown, followed by Cordero Patterson with 42 yards and a touchdown. Lead receiver was McCole Pruitt with 4 receptions, 49 yards, followed by Drake London, 5 receptions, 47 yards, and then Cordero Patterson, 6 receptions, 42 yards. That was pretty much it. The defense, they had a bit of bending towards David Blau at quarterback. Yes, David Blau is still starting, so I don't know. In the end, still pull out the victory. Currently, the Falcons are 4-point favorites to win this one. It is expected that the Buccaneers rest their starters, but nonetheless, Buccaneers pull off the victory. And now you have our very next matchup between the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins. This matchup is going to suck because both teams are missing their top 2 quarterbacks, so it's going to be third stringers this game. Starting off with the Jets, lost 23-6 to the Seattle Seahawks. Mike White, he threw for 240 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 picks. Once again, proving that one game was a complete fluke. Lead rusher was Ty Johnson with 46 yards. Lead receiver, Tyler Conklin, 6 receptions, 80 yards, followed by Corey Davis, 3 receptions, 45 yards, and then Braxton Berrios, 1 reception, 24 yards. That was pretty much it. And the defense, you allowed Geno Smith to get his revenge on you guys. And to be honest, this season is a disappointment because you did have a strong stretch. But once again, Zach Wilson just cannot lead this team. This elite defense should not have been wasted this year. If your offense had somewhat of a pulse, you would have made the playoffs, but you didn't. And then the Dolphins, you're fighting for the playoffs, but I really don't think that you could make it because it's just been a complete downfall. Starting off, Teddy Bridgewater, he threw for 161 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. So Skylar Thompson came in after he got injured, threw for 104 yards, also with a touchdown and a pick. Lead rusher was Jeff Wilson Jr. with 45 yards, followed by Raheem Mostert with 29. Lead receiver was also Raheem Mostert, 8 receptions, 62 yards and a touchdown, followed by Tyreek Hill, 4 receptions, 55 yards, and then Jalen Waddle, 3 receptions, 52 yards. That was pretty much it. And the defense, it just had its struggles against the New England Patriots, just couldn't pull off the victory. Anyways, Dolphins are 3-point favorites to win this one. And once again, this QB matchup completely sucks, but I'm going to say that the Dolphins win and cover the spread. And now you have our very next matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Starting off with the Browns, you pulled out a 24-10 victory over the Washington Commanders. Now, honestly, this season, your defense has been absolutely atrocious, but it did make a strong surge in the second half. But once again, Jacoby Brissett played much better than Deshaun Watson this season. But once again, Deshaun Watson, with how long he's been out of the league for, I would expect some rust. Anyways, in his last game, he completed 50% of his passes for 169 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Lead rush was Nick Chubb with 104 yards. Lead receiver was Amari Cooper, 3 receptions, 105 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Followed by David Njoku, 1 reception, 21 yards. And then Harrison Bryant, 2 receptions, 19 yards. That was pretty much it. The defense just completely locked down the Washington Commanders. But once again, this was Carson Wentz playing with the season on the line, so I would expect him to completely flop. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers, once again, you're making that surge. You could still make the playoffs. Mike Tomlin has the chance to still have a year where he's not below 500. Anyway, starting off, you won 16-13 over the Baltimore Ravens. Kenny Pickett had a solid game, threw for 168 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Lead rush was Najee Harris with 111 yards, followed by Jalen Warren with 76 yards. Lead receiver was Pat Freiermuth, 3 receptions, 36 yards, followed by Deontay Johnson, 2 receptions, 35 yards, and then Steve Sims, 3 receptions, 34 yards. That was pretty much it. And the defense, once again, it was kind of typical Baltimore Ravens. Strong first 3 quarters, and then they collapsed in the fourth quarter. Anyway, Steelers are 2-point favorites to win this one. But you know what? I'm going to say that the Browns pull off the upset here. And Mike Tomlin is going to have a season where he is not over 500. And now you have our very first 4 o'clock matchup of Sunday between the LA Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. Starting off with the Rams, this whole season has been a complete and utter train wreck. Your lack of depth and the Super Bowl hangover was apparent this whole season. Anyway, starting off, you lost 31-10 to the Chargers in the Battle of LA. Baker Mayfield threw for 132 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Lead rusher was Cam Akers with 123 yards, followed by Malcolm Brown with 23 yards and a touchdown. Lead receiver Van Jefferson, 3 receptions, 77 yards, followed by Bryson Hopkins, 1 reception, 21 yards, and then Tyler Higbee, 3 receptions, 11 yards. That was pretty much it, and the defense just got torn apart by Austin Eckler, Mike Williams, and Justin Herbert. So, yeah, bad season for y'all. Do I have sympathy? Not really, but you still can just flex that Super Bowl ring, and that's what hurts most. And then the Seahawks, once again, it's been a surprising season for you. You got off to a strong start, but slowly came back to reality. Currently 8-8. Last week, he beat the Jets 23-6. Geno Smith, solid start, 183 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Got his revenge on the Jets because they wrote him off, but he didn't write back. Lead rusher was Kenneth Walker with 133 yards, so a great ground game for him. Lead receiver DJ Dallas, 3 receptions, 55 yards, followed by Noah Fant, 2 receptions, 40 yards, and then Colby Parkinson, 5 receptions, 36 yards, and a touchdown. That was pretty much it. And the defense, it just shut down the New York Jets because, once again, Mike White is a 1-game fluke. After that fluke, he's just done. Anyway, Seahawks are 5.5-point favorites to win this one. I'm going to say that they win, but don't cover the spread because the Rams always keep these games close. And now you have our very next matchup between the LA Chargers and the Denver Broncos. Start off with the Chargers. You won the Battle of LA 31-10 over the LA Rams. Justin Herbert, strong game, threw for 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Lead rusher was Austin Eckler with 122 yards and 2 touchdowns on the day. Lead receiver was Mike Williams, 7 receptions, 94 yards, followed by Keenan Allen, 5 receptions, 60 yards, and then Austin Eckler, 4 receptions, 39 yards. That was pretty much it. And the defense, you had a little bit of trouble against the ground game of the Rams, but you just shut them down. But once again, their lack of depth just completely showed this entire season, and yeah, they sucked. But good win for you guys. And then the Denver Broncos lost 27-24 to the Kansas City Chiefs. You guys were the biggest disappointment of the season because people expected you to be a Super Bowl contender. When you traded for Russell Wilson, that was supposed to be the piece that would make you a Super Bowl contender. He was horrible this season, but Nathaniel Hackett did him no favors as the head coach hire was a complete train wreck, and it even showed in his coaching debut. So out goes Hackett. So you guys better prove me wrong next year. Starting off, Russell Wilson, okay game against the Chiefs, threw for 222 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Lead rusher was Latavius Murray with 56 yards. Lead receiver, Albert Aquam, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, 3 receptions, 45 yards and a touchdown, followed by Cortland Sutton, 4 receptions, 44 yards, and then Chase Edmonds, 3 receptions, 39 yards. That was pretty much it. And the defense, there was just so much bending and breaking to the Chiefs. But once again, it is the Chiefs offense. Anyways, currently the Broncos are actually 3.5-point favorites to win this one. Because the thing is, if the Bengals beat the Ravens, Chargers are guaranteed the 5 seed. And so Brandon Staley said he may be resting his starters if the Chargers end up, if the Bengals end up winning. But nonetheless, I'm going to take the Chargers in this one. And now you have our very next matchup, a rematch of Miracle at the Meadowlands Parts 1 and 2. That's the only rematch that you're going to hear out of me in this video between the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. Starting off with the Giants, congratulations on making the playoffs. I didn't really have that high expectations for you this year, but you stunned me. So that always is very impressive. And we starting off, Daniel Jones, solid game, threw for 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Also led rushing with 91 yards and 2 touchdowns on the day. Lead receiver was Richie James, 7 receptions, 76 yards, and a touchdown, followed by Isaiah Hodgins, 4 receptions, 42 yards, and a touchdown, and then Daniel Bellinger, 3 receptions, 42 yards. That was pretty much it, and the defense, you beat up on the Colts. What else can I say? They've just been terrible this year. And then the Philadelphia Eagles, you lost 20-10 to the New Orleans Saints, so y'all can suck that. But that did come at the cost, because you could lose the number 1 seed as a result of this recent free fall. Anyway, starting off, Gardner Minshew threw for 274 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Lead rusher was Miles Sanders with 61 yards. Lead receiver was Devontae Smith, 9 receptions, 115 yards, followed by A.J. Brown, 4 receptions, 97 yards, and a touchdown. And then Dallas Goedert, 3 receptions, 45 yards. That was pretty much it. The defense, they were able to keep down the New Orleans Saints, limited them to 13 points on offense, but that pick 6 you threw to Marshawn Lattimore was a dagger. Once again, Marshawn Lattimore, one of the best corners in the league. Eagles, they're 14-point favorites to win this one. I feel like the Giants may be resting their starters, so I'm going to end. Jalen Hurts is projected to come back this week. So I'm going to say that the Eagles win, but don't cover the spread, but they'll still lock up the number 1 seed. Now you have our very next matchup between the Arizona Cardinals and the San Francisco 49ers. Starting off with the Cardinals, been a very, very terrible season for you guys. And honestly, injuries were a problem, but they're not the problem. Once again, Kingsbury, he's got to go. Anyways, you lost 20-19 to the Atlanta Falcons. David Blau didn't even realize he was still in the league. Threw for 222 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Lead rusher was James Conner with 79 yards. Lead receiver, Trey McBride, 7 receptions, 78 yards, and a touchdown. Followed by Hollywood Brown, 6 receptions, 61 yards. And then James Conner, 3 receptions, 31 yards. That was pretty much it. The defense, they had their issues with the Atlanta Falcons, and they were unable to pull off the victory as Younghoe Koo kicked the game-winning field goal, but it's Younghoe Koo. He's going to make those all the time. And then the Niners, you won 37-34 over the Las Vegas Raiders. I was not expecting the game to be that close. Brock Purdy, solid game, 284 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Lead rusher was Christian McCaffrey with 121 yards and a touchdown, followed by lead receiver was Brandon Ayuk, 9 receptions, 101 yards, and a touchdown, followed by Christian McCaffrey, 6 receptions, 72 yards, and then Juwan Jennings, 2 receptions, 46 yards. That was pretty much it. And the defense, yes, they did have their struggles against the Las Vegas Raiders. Once again, no one really knew what Jarrett Stidham would bring to the game, so I would expect that kind of shock from them. But the Niners are 14-point favorites to win this one. I feel like you know what you're going to get out of David Blau or Colt McCoy or Trace McSorley, whoever starts for them. So Niners win and cover the spread. And now you have our very next matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Commanders. Starting off with the Cowboys, you won 27-13 over the Titans, but kind of what was expected out of you. Dak Prescott threw for 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Lead rusher was Malik Davis with 39 yards, followed by Ezekiel Elliott with 37 yards and a touchdown. Lead receiver was CeeDee Lamb, strong game, 11 receptions, 100 yards, followed by Dalton Schultz, 7 receptions, 56 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then T.Y. Hilton, 4 receptions, 50 yards. That was pretty much it. The defense, they were able to keep down the Tennessee Titans, but once again, this was a Josh Dobbs-led Tennessee Titans, and there was no Derrick Henry. So, you lived up to expectations, but you did hideously play down to competition. And then the Commanders, last week was pathetic. So, Ron Rivera had no idea that the Commanders could have been eliminated last week. So you know what? Yeah, let's throw in Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz in a in basically a do-or-die game is the worst thing you can do. It ran him out of the Colts last year, and this could have ran him out of Washington this year. As against the Browns, he threw for 143 yards, no touchdowns, and 3 picks. Lead rusher was Brian Robinson with 87 yards. Lead receiver, Logan Thomas, 6 receptions, 56 yards, followed by Jahan Dotson, 3 receptions, 37 yards, and then Scary Terry, 2 receptions, 25 yards. That was pretty much it. And the defense just could not keep down the Cleveland Browns. So disappointed with how you guys went out last week. Cowboys currently are 7-point favorites to win this one. I'm going to say they win and cover the spread. And now you have our Sunday night football matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. So the way that this game's going to work is that whoever wins this game is going to win the 7th seed. However, if the Seahawks win, then that's instantly going to eliminate the Lions. Anyway, starting out with the Lions, they won 41-10 over the Chicago Bears last week. Jared Goff, strong game, 255 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. I may have been wrong about him. He has flourished under the Lions this season, which is extremely impressive. Lead rusher was Jamal Williams with 144 yards and a touchdown, followed by DeAndre Swift with 78 yards and a touchdown. You had 265 ground yards in the game, so very impressive. Lead receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4 receptions, 62 yards, followed by DJ Chark, 2 receptions, 56 yards, and then Khalif Raymond, 3 receptions, 40 yards. That was pretty much it. And the defense, they struggled against the Bears in the first quarter with the rush attack, but you pulled out the victory in the end. Played strong defense, so good victory all around. And then the Packers, you guys have gotten hot at the right time. You won 41-17 over the Minnesota Vikings. Aaron Rodgers threw for 159 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Once again, it was all in the ground game. Aaron Jones ran for 111 yards, followed by A.J. Dillon with 41 yards and a touchdown. Lead receiver, Allen Lazard, 5 receptions, 59 yards, followed by Robert Tonyan, 3 receptions, 52 yards and a touchdown. And then Randall Cobb, 2 receptions, 20 yards. That was pretty much it. The defense, just completely made a mockery of Kirk Cousins. So, excellent job. Packers are 4.5-point favorites to win this one. I'm going to say they win, but don't cover the spread. They're still going to lock up the number 7 seed, though. Now, before we go to the outro, I just want to give 2 final predictions, which are my Black Monday predictions. Now, Black Monday, it's the first day after the NFL regular season ends, which is known for coaches getting fired. I've got 2 candidates. Number 1, Arizona Cardinals head coach Cliff Kingsbury. Once again, injuries was a key problem of the season, but Cliff Kingsbury's tenure as the Cardinals head coach has been extremely disappointing. And the number 2 is Ron Rivera. Honestly, with the antics that he pulled last week, putting in Carson Wentz in a do-or-die game, not knowing that they could be eliminated, I think that's good enough to get him fired. And that is going to wrap up my video for today. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and thank you for all the support you have given me over these past 18 weeks. This has been one of my favorite series. Glad I was able to bring it back. Now, when the playoff predictions come, I'm just going to be predicting them individually by round. So there's going to be separate videos for all that. Anyways, if you want to watch my last video, click right over here. If you like this video, drop a like, subscribe to my channel by clicking here, or the subscribe button down below. Once again, Damar Hamlin's foundation, his link is also in the description below. So if you want to show him some support, be sure to donate to that. Comment down below your thoughts. Who's your upset of the week, lock of the week, favorite team going to win. Follow me on all my social medias, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, @BrendanSuter. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Thanks again for the support. Who Dat Nation for the last time in the regular season.